Okay, so this is us answering all of the questions that we got. We're just going to do them in no particular order. And the first one is, how many members are in the band? So there are... Guys, you have to talk. You literally have to talk. There's no one there.
Okay. Should we start over?
You gotta tell us how to do it.
Well, are we like one question at a time, or like are we all just chiming in randomly? Like, I might do this question, then like I do the next question, and someone else do the next question.
No, I think it'd
answer
be
like Jeopardy.
no. I think it'd be good to be like, how many members?
Five.
I'll ask the questions. Okay, so let's start over.
Okay.
All right. How many members are in the band? So currently, what you see here is the full band. There are five. There are five members.
Yeah.
So, maybe we can each say what we play.
Okay, cool. I play the guitar.
What's your name?
I'm Spencer and I play the guitar.
I'm John Angus. I'm percussion.
Trevor and I play the bass.
Tristan and I play the guitar and the synthesizer, and I sing sometimes.
And I'm Catherine, and I mostly do vocals. Okay, so is that?
Yeah. And Trevor used to play guitar too.
Yeah, I used to play
Yeah.
guitar.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so here's another question. What is your songwriting process?
God.
I guess that's a lot of you.
Yeah.
Tristan.
Well, yeah, I'm like the vibe starter and the framework starter, and then everyone just kind of adds parts on top of that, and then we somehow get a final product.
Yeah.
Eventually, and then Catherine
Oh
puts the
my
vocals
god. We somehow get a product together, we vibe, we start.
It's awkward.
How
It
it
is.
starts usually is that Tristan will come up with kind of a framework for how a certain song is going to
Like
start.
the meat and potatoes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He comes together with a lot of the basic stuffs and then comes to us for riffs and...
Yeah, he has a good idea as to like all of our styles, so like he knows.
Yeah, he writes with each of us in mind.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's like a vibe thing, yeah. Like every project
Yeah.
has its own vibe.
Yeah, and it depends on kind of what instruments we kind of have going on at the time. But then what happens is once all of the actual instruments are kind of figured out, I'll come in and listen to the song, and he'll write the lyrics, and I'll take those lyrics and put melody to it for voice, harmonies and stuff. So it is kind of like a collaborative effort.
Very collaborative.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, what are each of your favorite instruments? And I don't know if this means just to play or if it means to listen to. Maybe we'll just take it as you feel. What's your favorite instrument, everybody? We can start here and work our way across.
Okay. Well, I like to go specific. Like I'm a big guitar nerd and like a little collector-y, so right now I have a guitar. It's a Legend Jazzmaster. It's made in Nova Scotia. It's made by Legend Guitars, and that guy lives in Dartmouth, so it's from home, and that's kind of a reason I like it so much. So probably that guitar, although it's kind of in for repairs at the moment. So yeah,
Cool.
Jazzmaster, good guitar.
Well, for me, I think currently I'd have to say is my new strike pad. It's the newest addition we have here to the ensemble, and it's been a blast up to this point. There's so many different sounds and different ways to just fiddle with things, and so many different sounds that I normally couldn't get out of a drum set before. It's cool.
I guess mine would be the synthesizers that we use in the band, the bass synth and the chord. Give a good sound, unique sound to the band. So that'd be mine.
Mine as well, actually. I think synthesizers is just they I feel like it suits me, and I feel comfortable with them, and I like the different kind of sound
It's got a beat to it.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, it just really suits us as a band, I think, and yeah, I'm definitely a synthesizer junkie, and yeah, I feel like I'm at an AA.
You're always planning your next step. You'll come to me and be like, look at this one though. Look at that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. My favorite one's probably like the Prophet series.
Yeah,
Yeah, by Dave's Instruments.
that's the next investment piece. Yeah, I'm in the same boat, I guess. I think I'm a little more traditional. I kind of wish that we could somehow have a grand piano on stage, but that's just not going to happen anytime
It's a
soon.
little hard to move.
A little hard to move, yeah. Okay, so next question. What is your favorite song to play live with this band?
Ooh, that's tricky.
That's a tough question.
So I guess like favorite song could mean most fun to play, or one that you feel is like the one you feel the most confident playing. It can, I guess, like it doesn't matter if it's a cover or an original. Maybe we
I
can
was
do
just
one
gonna
of
ask
each.
that. Yeah, like, are we doing just our stuff, or are we doing just songs we've done in the past?
Probably still good original stuff, I guess.
Yeah, just what it.
Maybe both. Maybe
I
both.
think
yeah,
both.
would
I
do
think
both.
both.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So what's your favorite cover to play, and what's your favorite of ours currently to play?
I know what I'd pick right off the bat for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alpine Motion.
Cool.
Boy, that is a banger. That is
Fun.
so
Yeah.
much fun, especially now with the strike pad.
We'll just say any song.
Any
we'll
song
say
of
any
ours.
song.
Even
yeah.
songs that you played way back when.
Yeah.
Way back when.
Way back.
So
That'd be
I think
fun.
overall second
That'd
mask
be a
would be
fun
my
one to come
favorite
up with.
song.
That's an
Yeah.
old
Verse.
dirt.
Yeah.
Just because I really like the bass bit in it.
Which one is it?
Second mask.
Second Mask?
Yeah, I
That's a
like
good
that a
one.
lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we only played Letter for Charles, I think, once as the full band.
Yeah.
And that was great. I mean, that's my favorite song that we do. It's like a perfect tune for me. Like,
Yeah.
the guitar parts are so cool, and there's so many.
Mhm.
So that. But I mean, I don't know. Debaser's a great cover. Any
That's what- that was mine.
Pixies cover we've done has been
It's funny
awesome.
because that one's mine.
Yeah.
Like that Debaser's my favorite cover that we play. An original. I like the closer. I like the ending of it. It just seems so dramatic to just burst in with the synth at the end. I do like that one. But to sing, I like Alpine Motion. I like
Yeah.
the dual vocals in that one. I think it's really nicely split up.
Yeah. No, my favorite original would probably to play. It's actually really hard, but I'd probably say like Drift It.
Drift
It's probably
is
one of my
classic.
favorites. Yeah. To play live anyway in its
Yeah.
current,
Yeah.
its current form.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, probably Debaser. I really like that Pixies tribute show we did in general.
Same.
Yeah, that was
Every
really
song
my
cool.
is
favorite gig we did,
Yeah.
to be honest.
That was so cool.
Yeah. So.
I really like. We did Die Happy too for a little bit. That was really fun.
That was fun.
That's a
yeah.
good song.
Yeah.
He was like a wizard on the synth. Every time
Yeah.
I look over, he'd be like this with these different things. I had to stop looking over because it was just too
Mixing
much.
potions and
It's just-
Yeah.
It was really funny. Okay, favorite moment at a live show. For me, I think one of my favorite moments was when we did the show in the summer with the CBRM Connect Arts, and we were just playing to the public, and we had people coming that knew our stuff, but then it was like we'd have people walking across the street and stopping, and like maybe they didn't know a show was happening today, or maybe they wouldn't have thought they would have liked that type of music, but it kind of like was just a moment where they were like just kind of like listening, and they came over afterward and they said how much they enjoyed it. It's just kind of nice. I don't know, I really like that. I like when it's like something surprises somebody, maybe because they just thought like, oh, that type of music isn't my thing, but then when they hear it, they're like, but I do like this about it, or, you know, I think that was, I don't know, I just really like the outdoor shows. They just kind of, they're nice because they're really relaxed too, where it's like you can kind of come and go if you want to, so I think that was my favorite moment.
I have a lot coming to mind. I mean, the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles home opener, that's like sweet. That was
Oh, that was a great
I
show.
forgot about
That was a
yeah.
great
Randy
show.
Ballard playing that
Yeah.
show. That was
Yeah.
so cool.
That was one of my first shows. That was like my second show with you guys, I think.
Yeah.
That was before my time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
terrifying.
that felt like a big deal.
I haven't
Yeah.
got stage fright since we did that one.
Yeah.
You did that.
I felt bad because some person came up and kept asking me kept recommending songs. Like, do you guys know like the Smallville theme song? And he was like, do you guys know Jump by Van Halen? And I felt so bad because like, we just don't know those songs. You know? We don't prepare for requests at all. So
But how could you prepare for the Smallville theme song? You never know.
yeah,
I don't know what that is. That's funny.
me neither.
I don't know. I really like all those that you guys suggested so far. I think just in general, a favorite moment, probably, I I really like when we played that Open Hearth Park show.
That was
Oh
fun.
yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah, I like the outdoor shows too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good, eh?
Yeah.
I like that. It just felt good. It felt like I like the outdoor shows where it's like you just have like the wind and nature and
And it's summer.
and it's summer and it's nice. Yeah, I like those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I think for like the live show this summer, it was like raining right up until our act.
Oh yeah, that
it was like
that was so tense.
there was like
so
a 10-minute
nervous.
buffer of like, is it gonna happen?
Yeah.
And then the rain
Yeah.
held off again, so
Yeah.
it just happened. But
Yeah.
The first 3-hour gig we did was pretty cool too, though.
Oh yeah.
That was
The only one we
a
did.
test.
What was it?
Our like only 3-hour gig.
Oh
we did.
yeah.
Just
Oh my
us.
god, I
yeah.
forgot about that.
It was like January 11th, 2018 or
Yeah,
19.
That was a lot.
2008.
It was
19.
cool just
Yeah.
to see that we're able to do that, you know.
Yeah.
Which project were you the most excited about? And that could be like what song were you the most excited about, or what thing when we went along were you the most like hyped about? Do you think? Because we had a couple of releases, we had a couple of things like, you know, we had the Crumbling come out, and then we had the singles come out, or even just stuff.
Can I say like the current one?
I mean, you can say the
Yeah.
current one.
Yeah.
What the thing we have under works?
Yeah. Yeah.
The next surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that one is the most excited and the most scared. It's the big one coming. I guess for me, the one I was the most excited about, I was really excited about the Crumbling. I think because it was my first time doing like an EP ever. So
Yeah,
it
that
was
was
like
fun.
it was just exciting because it was just a whole new process for me, especially because like I mean you had done other projects with other musicians before, but like it was the first time that it was like, okay, here's our schedule and here's the songs we're doing, and like hearing yourself back on a track, it was really cool, and like getting the artwork and everything together. But also Alpine Motion,
Yeah.
it just was, because it was like the first kind of wave of like this new thing, like the video and stuff. It was just really exciting, but it was also like really scary because it was just this whole new medium that we're just doing now, you know? But yeah, the new stuff is really exciting. I hope we always say that. I hope it's always like the newest thing coming is the most
Yeah.
exciting thing.
Yeah.
How it should be.
That's what I definitely feel. I feel like I always like them in the moment. Then it's like at some point halfway through, it's like okay, ready for the
Yeah.
the next project, right? You know? No, doing all the singles were a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
the Crumbling was great. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I like the closer a lot because we came up with that big crazy ending
Mhm.
like while we were recording it, and it was
Yeah.
like going into it, I had one idea of how the song's gonna be, and we figured out the ending there, and it's like, you know, once you leave, you forget what it even sounded like because you came up with it on the spot, and then
Yeah.
it was this great big ending, and it was just cool.
Yeah.
That process, just out of thin air.
yeah, it's really cool. I love those moments.
Yeah.
All those moments happen.
Each of the singles, it was like Alpine Motion was different because for me especially, it was just one shot wonder, easy. The first thing I did worked, and the other singles were like so hard. They were so
Yeah.
hard. So it was like I was excited for them, but I was more exhausted by them because I think we just kept having to go back to the drawing board so many times. It was nice and I enjoyed them, but I think Alpine Motion was just a little bit of a, it was just kind of like a false start where it was just like, this is gonna be so like smooth all the time, but
It wasn't.
no.
And the EP, the Crumbling project was much like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first song, like the Crumbling
Yeah.
itself,
Yeah.
was like simple, and then everything else was like, oh jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll take a minute.
Especially the further you got into it, and then
Yeah.
The last few songs
yeah.
were
But
tough.
this new project's going really well though.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
This new one's
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trevor, what was the one you were most excited about? But
All of it.
all of it.
All of it. Good answer.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
This kind of like piggyback on the last question. What's the hardest song to write or perform? New stuff not included, because that's we don't even
yeah, we don't
how
really know
that's
for that
gonna
one
happen
yet.
yet. But the hardest song, and it's probably different for everybody, but the hardest song to perform or the hardest song that it was to write.
Like as an individual level or like a collective band.
Well, hardest song to whatever makes the most sense to you. Like if you don't have something individually.
Maybe we can do. I feel like as a band, the hardest one is definitely the closer.
Yeah.
But would probably be more interesting to answer individually.
Yeah, I think so. Well, yeah. Because we all just have different answers, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, maybe we'll have the
Okay.
same answers.
Hardest song to record so far.
And then perform or just record?
Well, it doesn't have to be the same song. What was the hardest song to write or record?
Or record, okay.
And then what's the hardest song to perform? Like, what's the song that comes up in the set list and you're like, you know?
Oh, okay.
That's what I think it means. So the hardest song for me, vocally, to write, was definitely Letter for Charles. Oh my God. We went back and forth 1,000 times. 1,000 times. And it was like, we just happened to pick, and I don't know what happened, the hardest, weirdest harmonies. And like the placement of it was just, everything about it was wrong, but it ended up being right. And I think that was what was so difficult. And especially in that like type of song, it's not like banging or it's not like super, super mellow. So it's like that in-between song where it's like you have to pick your tone to match with the vibe of it, but it also match each other because we were doing dual vocals, but also have a harmony that makes sense sonically with the song. It was like, we just spent so long being like, I hate it, I hate it, I like it, I hate it. And it was just like back and forth so much. But I mean, sometimes that's how it be, you know? Hardest song to perform. For me, it's funny because I would do keys a lot and now I'm more just vocals. But the hardest song to do keys for, with the 2 synths, was probably Radius. And then to sing, the hardest one, it might be Fault Line, because there's just a lot of big notes. Not that those are too hard, but it's just a long song.
Drifted.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
The hardest one for me to perform vocally, I think, would be Drifted. Just because, yeah, there's a lot of like high notes, long song. It's usually at the end of a set, so I'm usually kind of tired.
I guess the hardest song for me would probably be Radius as well, because when we played that frequently, I just switched to the bass, and like, I was used to guitar, so like it's kind of crazy what goes on.
Yeah,
with the bass there,
it
so.
sounds like a simple song, but when you play it, you're like, oh my God.
It was really hard to play, honestly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would agree, actually. Radius is probably, as far as like when I did the keys, because I know we kind of switch back and forth, but yeah, like the keys are definitely.
Because there's that weird key change. Not weird. There's a different key change in there where it's just like you have to invert some things and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you want to optimize your playing. It's just, on keys is a little bit of a tricky song.
As far as singing goes, though, I'm not entirely sure. Probably Letter for Charles for me, as far as singing goes, because the harmonies are really awkward.
They are awkward.
But yeah, that's my.
What about writing for you?
Oh, for writing?
Yeah.
What was hardest?
Yeah. Most difficult. Not like hardest in terms of like this is challenging, but hardest in terms of like you had the most difficult time with it.
Probably one of the. Well, there's songs that are currently unreleased. We recorded other songs aside from the single that might come out at a later date, but there were definitely some tricky ones in there, and actually it's and then obviously A Letter for Charles, like you were saying before, was difficult. But actually from the Crumbling, a difficult one was Second Mask. Funny enough, you brought that up before. Yeah, the Second Mask was because it was what we did. That was because when we did the Crumbling, it was supposed to be just songs that we played live, and then we just recorded, kind of put it on record, right? You know, and but that one was one of them that was a little more of a studio.
Yeah, for sure.
A studio song, like we played it different in the studio than live at as we did it at the time, and but it was difficult because I wasn't happy with a lot of my vocal stuff, so I changed a lot, and that's probably the most difficult. Aside from like, there's a few of the other songs that we recorded around the singles time, but
yeah, vocals are tough sometimes.
Yeah, it's mostly vocals that are the hardest part.
But you guys, difficult song to perform, or even like riffs and stuff, like writing or.
Maybe I thought you were going to say the closer, because that one part in the closer that took forever and changed a million times.
Oh, yeah. Well, I could say a little bit of all the singles except
Yeah.
for Alpine Motion. The rest of
Yeah.
them were pretty.
The hardest thing with, I'd say the closer again, and the only reason it was the hardest is because that main riff, we tried a few times to get it and we couldn't figure it out. And eventually I used like the tremolo effect, and we thought, oh, okay, this sounds pretty cool. But at first we were like just using the regular riff, and the demo sounded fine. But then when we were actually recording it, we couldn't get it just right. So it took a lot of exploring to figure out how to make the riff work in the song and the right effects to make it sound cool. So
Yeah.
we got there in the end.
Yeah, it's like a spaghetti western.
Yeah.
By the end of it,
Yeah.
we're like a bunch of cowboys.
Yeah.
I think for me, writing wise, I'd have to say closer, because that's for me, that was a big transition part for me. So
Yeah.
like, I had stuff figured out with the kind of smorgasbord of kit stuff I had put together, and then I kind of scrapped all that, and then I had the xylophone for that a little bit. There. I was like, okay, well, what can I do with this?
Yeah, definitely.
And then strike bad.
Yeah.
So I kind of did my part 3 different times there.
Yeah, dove into some samples.
Yeah.
What about performings or any that you like get to in the set list and you're like, or is it all just kind of?
I think honestly, I'd have to say Radius too.
That song.
It's a weird one to pull off.
Honestly, for me, it was the stage stuff we were going to do. That like we always said we were going to do
Yeah.
this
Transition.
stuff beforehand, and then
Transition
every
stuff.
time we were always like, are we going to do it? Are we not going to do it? And then it just kind of
yeah, the actual show part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, the transitions.
It is interesting. It's the songs that like maybe you listen to and think, oh yeah, that one. But like when the musicians talking, they're like, that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like the only song I wrote, so. Maybe,
Thanks a lot.
maybe we won't do that again.
Thanks a lot.
Maybe I'll retire.
Making us sweat over here.
It's like a good guitar riff, I guess.
No, I like
Yeah,
the
it's a
guitar
great
riff.
guitar riff.
I always said I like the guitar
Sounds like a
riff.
boss battle.
Boss battle, yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if anybody has an embarrassing stage moment.
Oh, yes, I know one too.
Okay, you can
Embarrassing. We're like the band for embarrassing moments.
Oh my god, okay, what are they?
Well, I'll say the most embarrassing and then put everyone else to shame. So the most embarrassing moment was we were this was the original version of the band.
I know what you're saying.
The original version of the band. This is probably one of our first shows.
Oh no.
And we were doing a cover of LA Woman
Oh no.
by
This was the
The
case.
Doors.
Was this not the Screaming Eagles?
No, that was it took
What
place
moment
at
happened
Connors.
now? Okay, let me finish this one.
Okay, so.
Oh my god.
We're at Governors, and we're playing LA Woman by The Doors. And there's 3 sections in the song, and we going through, we started the song off, go ahead, right. And then how do I describe this? So, the second part of it, the I see your hair is burning, that part. So instead of going into that, we switched into the Mojo Rising part. And I kid you not,
Oh no.
the Governors was probably about, it was a good night. It was a good night for Governors.
Oh no.
And I promise you, because this is an iconic song, and every head turned and looked at me. And I was like, well, Captain goes down with this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ended up saving it somehow. I think we just pretty much took it to the end after that, but we kind of
Oh,
we
man.
skipped that little part, not an important little part, but
Oh no.
that was probably the most personally. This is when I was just with and I've always had an instrument on stage up to that point. This is a first couple shows of me just in front of a mic with no instrument.
Oh
so.
no, look what happened.
Yep. So it was definitely that's probably the impact was probably a little harder.
You didn't have an instrument to hide behind at that point.
No, I just
Face the music.
yeah. It's like in the Titanic when it shows the captain going down with
I thought you meant like the band, like when the band's playing, even though the ship's going down.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. That works too. That works too.
Yeah.
That works too.
Does anybody else have anything close to that? Or?
Screaming Eagle one. Tell me about that one.
I thought that was the year where that happened for some reason. Because I think that was the last time we ever played LA Woman.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it
Yeah.
did happen there
It
too.
did.
But it didn't. But that was the first gig that I was like kind of with you guys, and it's like I didn't have that in my docket at all. And you guys were like, yeah, let's just play LA Woman. I was like, oh my god.
I didn't know the bass for it either.
I remember
And
that.
after that, you guys, I think it went
We
well.
were running
I
out
was
of time. We were running out of time, so we need to pull a long song that felt like it might have been easy, but then obviously.
It was like my heart fell into my stomach. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a couple. I'll probably go with the time I had to pee during the set.
Oh, my
during the
god.
3-hour one. Yeah.
that sucks. That just just didn't feel right.
I think the
felt
worst
bad.
part was that you announced it over the mic to everybody too. You
I
just were
think
like,
so, yeah.
I
It's like, I really gotta pee. And Tristan was just like, okay, go. I was really appreciative of that.
Some of my favorite moments are just like when we're recording and writing, and you're like, and you know, of course, like, you know, we have a framework we're working off of, and then just like a moment happens like that, you know, one of those on-plan moments, you know what I mean, that just kind of happen. And those are probably some of my favorite moments, for sure. Like, they just kind of pop up, and it's just like, wow, like I can't, you know, this changes everything, you know.
Yeah.
I love like right after a set, like immediately after you finished a set, and it's like you just drink everything in, you know, and everyone's there and they're all coming over. It's just really nice. I think
That's interesting you said that. That's like my least favorite part.
you don't like that part?
No,
Really?
That's why I love being behind my drum kit so much, because it was like, for those shows, I was like, oh, I'm just back here tingling, like, don't look at me. I'm still really new to this whole show stuff too. Like,
That's true.
That was my first band. Like, outside of like
Yeah.
concert band in high school, like, that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Because in theater, every time a show's over, like everyone stays to talk to everyone for like an hour after the show. So like it's just kind of second nature. Especially if the show went well. If the show didn't go well, it's probably one of my least favorite parts. I hate like having to look at people and be like, yeah, thanks. Like, thanks. It's the worst and best moment, depending.
I think the last show we did, and we got to hear like Jay Cobra and Nomad. I'm a big fan of those guys now. They're really cool dudes, and
Yeah.
that show was a really fun time.
It was just
right?
That was
cool
a good
because
time.
like it would be the only chance that we would really have to play like with like, you know, other
Rappers.
artists like that. Because usually it's like, you know, you get other bands like yours to open, but like it's just cool that we got to be put together with them. Like,
Yeah, that was a really interesting mix.
yeah,
Yeah.
people loved it.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Good times.
They're good too.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Tunes.
I guess at the end of the day, I'd say all of it's been pretty good. Just being in a band with, you know,
Yeah.
great musicians, great friends, you know.
Yeah,
So-
that's a good point.
Agreed.
I like it a lot. So
I just like thinking back to the
Yeah.
moments that we were like first rehearsing in like a garage in the winter with like
Yeah,
it like for the
No
heater.
heat.
those were some of the best.
For the heater, we had
Yeah,
like
so-
the propane thing, so we would just get like the fumes would just
Oh,
it wouldn't be
yeah.
warm, it would just be fumes, and like you
Yeah.
couldn't feel your fingers and you're lightheaded. It's like,
It was
okay guys,
bad.
that's it
Yeah,
for
you had to
today."
choose. You had to choose. You either had to be like high off the fumes or like be frozen.
Frozen.
And you'd still be frozen anyway. You
Yeah, that's where some of the best songs from the Crumbling came from, though. Those moments.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
I think the Alpine Motion show is my favorite. Like the
Yeah.
the debut show for that.
Oh
The
yeah, the
video
single
release?
release.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a
yeah.
good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Daryl played the actual video on the TVs too. That was
It was a
really
little quiet.
Yeah.
It's kind of
It
quiet.
was kind of quiet.
So everyone was just like listening really close.
Yeah, really tried to-
I know, it was like quiet. It was
It was
very
just like
great.
you're at a bar and everyone's like quietly trying to
Yeah,
listen.
but the whole bar.
Did
Yeah,
Everyone
it was
everyone
quiet,
that was
yeah.
there wanted to see it.
Yeah.
That was a cool bit.
It's like,
Like,
thanks,
and we hit
man.
like we blew the goal in the water. Like we wanted to have like 1,000 views or something.
In a
We-
week, yeah.
Yeah, we,
God, that's
It was
way
great.
above that.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was
Yeah.
really cool, especially for the first video. You don't know, right? I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Yeah.
Um,
So we have Daryl for that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
Thanks, Daryl.
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah. So there's our answers. There's our attempted
Yeah.
answers. Yeah, cool. So thanks if you're still watching. Thanks for watching. And we'll be back soon with new stuff, I guess.
And check out the videos.
Yeah. You should check out the videos.